high definition. Eyewitness News on the CW Philly.
Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords is making remarkable strides in her recovery after being shot in the head almost 2 weeks ago. Today, she will be transferred to a rehabilitation center in Texas where she will undergo intensive therapy. Joining us to talk more about the type of therapy Giffords will likely undergo is Dr. Timothy Young, Medical Director of the Brain Injury Unit at Magee Rehabilitation. Dr. Young, nice to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in. I'd like to get your personal feelings first of all, considering the proximity of the gunshot wound, just about point blank range, and where the Congresswoman is now. Do you see this as a miracle, being a miracle?
Yes, I think it's a miracle. I think anytime someone survives something like this, you'd have to say that this would be, you know, a miracle of science, a miracle of healthcare. The docs and the first responders all, you know, did what they had to do. The folks, sounds like, that were there, you know, did everything that had to be done. As far as her recovery goes, I would say that it sounds like, you know, I don't have any access to any of her medical records or anything like that, but it does sound like she is on the accelerated end of what we would expect from this type of injury.
Can you determine or speak on what her next steps of rehab will be? What will they do at the new rehab center in Texas?
Yeah, so at TIER, what they'll be doing is something very similar to what you'd get at any specialized brain injury rehab center, where effectively the focus shifts now from one where someone's looking at surviving day to day to now returning function, and basically at this point we like, you know, the shift is to quality of life and independence and all the things we all take for granted. She's going to be facing as a huge struggle for the next months, even years.
All of you have some special things going on over at Magee, I understand, on the 6th floor. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what happens with rehab, with someone who has a head injury like this, is that generally we'll start in a very private, non-distracting environment as far as the therapy, but as someone progresses through and as we get ready to transition someone home, we would focus more on community activities. And so what Magee did is they created a simulated street environment where there's an automobile, there's potholes, curbs that are broken or not set up quite perfectly, very similar to what we see here in Philadelphia. So to really kind of challenge our patients to see how are they going to negotiate that. I mean, it's one thing to see what someone can do in a gym, but when you get them out onto the street is when the real challenge is.
And doctor, before you leave us, I was always wondered, how important is it? We see the Congresswoman's husband by her side. How important is it to have, say, a family member, someone familiar to you when you're in a state such as this, as far as confidence and as far as believing and coming back and hearing voices? I'm sure that plays an important role in healing.
I'm sorry, yeah, absolutely. The supportive family is critical. Obviously access to health care is critical, but really it's a combination of, you know, access to an excellent rehab facility like TIER, a great family, a great support network, and I mean the thing to remember is that although she's made tremendous gains, I mean for 2 weeks she's really doing phenomenally. This is a long process, and this is a process that they're going to be struggling with for months, maybe years, before she is, you know, fully recovered to the level that she's going to be recovered to.
Well, we appreciate everything you, your colleagues around this country and around the world do. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.